call to order. We just did the call to order. So next up on the agenda, before we do anything else, we have to elect a new chair and a new co-chair. Now, previously I was the co-chair, and because of, Felipe had to resign. We were very upset that he had to leave, but we're gonna continue the process. So for the new chair, I elect myself, and then after we do the election for chair, we'll elect co-chair. So
I nominate Empress
okay.
for chair.
I'll second.
Any other nominations on the floor?
Sounds like a tour.
Okay, so we have Empress with 2. Any other nominations on the floor?
I think we have to complete that. I think.
Yeah, well, we gotta see if anybody else.
Oh, if anybody else is gonna.
Do I third or nominate someone else?
Either one you wanna do.
I will third you.
Thank you. Brady?
I'm sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear.
We're nominating a new chair. After we nominate a new chair, we're gonna nominate a new vice chair.
Okay.
So so right now, Empress is the only person on the table. Would you like to nominate, to elect Empress, or you wanna elect somebody else? Nominate somebody else?
I'll elect her.
Okay. So that has passed. So Empress is now the new chair. Thank you. Now for the co-chair, I would like to elect Becky Craig. Your vote?
Well, I think somebody has to second that.
You can vote for
I'll
yourself.
second.
All right, thanks, Brady.
Okay, now for the votes. 1 vote for me.
Oh, I'll vote.
Okay,
Fine.
that's 2 votes.
I'll also vote.
That's 3 votes. That's 4 votes.
All right, I'll vote for myself.
Thank you. That's 5 votes. So Becky is now the new co-chair of the Greenfield Human Rights Commission. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. So now as far as the chairperson statements, I would just like to say thank you very much for electing the new chair and co-chair of Greenfield Human Rights Commission. There's a lot of new projects that I have in mind for this commission. I'm really hoping that we could push this commission and build a new energy and get us more involved with community, business, and basically give us more oversight of what needs to be done in the community. And also because there is a lot of groundwork that I feel has not been done in the city by the Greenfield Human Rights Commission. I'm really hoping that this new energy here now that we'll be able to fulfill some of those commitments. Next, we're moving down to our new GHRC commissioners. And I'm going to give you a minute, just you could go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself.
Hi, everybody. I am Quinn Mass. I'm a senior in high school right now. I mainly wanted to take this opportunity to try to go outside of just like the experiences that school offers to like give back to my community. And last year I was awarded a scholarship based off of, I was the Susan B. Anthony and Frederick Douglass Scholarship. And I was reflecting on that, and I wanted to give back more, like I wanted to feel like I really deserved it. And I think I did deserve it, but I wanted to be able to put that set in stone by actually being part of a commission and setting like goals and following through on them and giving back to the community. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you, Quinn.
Thank you. And I'm Kathleen Kenny. I came here 33 years ago as a single mom with 3 very little children. to raise them and have gone on to work in the community, do some very minor volunteer work as the kids kept me really busy and work full-time, and have watched the community evolve and grow. And, in the world we live in, I'm now a grandparent of 8 different grandchildren. Some are biracial, some are redheads. We have a transgender, we have quite a mix, and I just feel like it's time for me to get involved and be here and have new voices heard and, reach out in the community to make it a better place for us all.
Thank you, Kathleen. Do you like to be called Kathy or Kathleen?
Kathleen,
Okay.
Kathleen,
Thank
thanks
you.
for asking.
Okay, next, Matt, do you mind doing a roll call?
Sure. Empress,
Present?
Becky,
Here.
Kathleen,
Present.
Quinn,
Here.
Grady.
Hello.
Okay, next, notifications of any guests or visitors present?
Hi, I'm Pamela Goodwin. I'm just live in Greenfield, thought I'd come over.
Welcome.
We're happy to have you.
You want to tell us a
Thank
little
you.
bit about yourself, Pamela?
I moved back, I was born in Greenfield when it was a town in 1948, so the last 5 years I've been back here. Now it's a city. I go to city council every time they're there, with the exception of when I had COVID months. And it's like making a public comment. I was a school teacher for many years in the area here. I later became a certified nurse assistant. During that period of time, I moved to the eastern part of the state and took care of an elderly person that's a relative of mine. And I have 4 grandchildren that way, but I'm back in Western Mass where I belong.
Glad to have you back, and thank you for coming today.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah.
What was your last name again, Pamela?
Goodwin,
Good.
Goldwin.
Next on the agenda, commissioners' announcements to be shared. This is the time where, if any commissioners have any announcements or know of any upcoming events that you would like to share with the commission, this is the time to share them. Nothing?
Do we have a place to post anything on the Greenfield website?
Yeah, there is a webpage.
Yeah, so maybe we can, if people have any flyers, they can share them and we can post them, so.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, approval of minutes from August 14th. Mackenzie is not here, so we don't have those meetings, so we could table that for next month. Sounds good? Okay. Number 8, we have updates from the mayor's office, from the city director of communications.
Yes, me and the mayor discussed all the contents from last meeting, and she was very happy and supportive of the idea to make a GCTV recording of human rights information for the shelter, and especially just make sure that's something accessible that as many people as possible could want and utilize. And it can also be utilized by just people in the Greenfield community at large as well. Also, Mayor Wiedegardner was very happy with the Juneteenth celebration. She views it as a yearly occurrence that's going to be drawing the community out and promoting great values and understanding. So those are just some brief notes from the mayor.
Thank you, Matt. Next up, number 9, we're gonna do 2023 goals and some structured planning. If anybody has something else that you want to add on to this structured plan, please feel free to add it in, okay? But some of the things that I want to touch on, we used to have an old commission, we used to have subcommittees. The way that subcommittees work is we could have our committee meeting once a month. And these subcommittees are smaller committees that will meet more regularly. And the reason for that is basically to achieve a goal or to investigate a certain topic or a situation. I know when we had it before, one of the subcommittees that we had was as far as having equal access to the Green River so that all people could be able to have access to that water, because that was definitely an issue. I know that there was a subcommittee that was branched off of their main HRC committee that was able to go out in the community to gather data. And then when we met again, they would bring that information back to the commission. And from there, we as a commission will basically vote, of course, and approve it. and basically they could just go on and start doing what they wanted to do. I feel like once a month meetings, in my opinion, I don't really feel like we're accomplishing that much. You know, but at the same time, I don't want to put, because everybody has their life, and I don't want to put that pressure on anybody, but if anybody did feel like there's a project and they would want to basically chair that subcommittee and take on this project, I am more than open to allowing you to do that. I mean, if it was, take for instance, we'll just take like from the last meeting, just take for instance, if we have a subcommittee who wants to focus on the Days Inn and what's going on down there. But it's a group of people who wants to do it, not so much the full commission. So what can happen is that these subcommittees can meet like once a week, twice a week. You go have lunch, have tea or coffee on the side, but basically y'all can talk as much as you want to and meet as much as you want to, and you guys can start doing the footwork for the commission. I just feel like it's better to have subcommittees because more work is being done. Just like if there's a grievance, if somebody reports a grievance in the city or reports a grievance to the HRC, we can have a subcommittee that just deals with grievances. So therefore, somebody does report something like that, then the subcommittee that deals with grievances could do their own investigation of it and then report those findings. Of course, they cannot make, like a final decision or vote on that. What it is that these subcommittees would just gather information, gather data, and bring it back to the commission as a whole, and as a commission on a whole, then we will finalize it. So how do we feel about subcommittees? Is that something like that, Brady?
Yes.
I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
So a couple things just came to mind when you were talking. I really like the idea of subcommittees, because I think sometimes it can be hard to do all the things. I was just thinking, maybe I hear what you're saying about very specific subcommittees, but I'm thinking maybe more general subcommittees that handle those specifics. For instance, outreach and education. So they could be working on a script for a video or a concept for a video, could be talking about which outreach events are going to be approved, events and collaborations, maybe different things that are already happening that we might be approving the commission to co-sponsor or to get involved with, and then maybe also grievances or feedback to the city. And that's another subcommittee, again, like you're saying, having these conversations and then coming back to the full group, and then we all hear what was discussed and then move from there. I really like that.
I like that. Thank you, Becky. Grady, you want to add anything?
Excuse me. I kind of agree. I think we better, I guess, not to have it so specific, just kind of find that sweet spot between general and specific, where there's kind of some quasi-specific things that we might need to discuss more often. I mean, I don't have anything right off the top of my head. I'm just worried about, I think it's best just to split the difference between those two, if that makes sense.
It definitely does, but I want to say I like your background. I know where you're at. No, I said I like the background. I know where you're at.
I'm sitting in my car in Hadley in the rain, so.
All right, Greenfield Savings Bank, so.
Well, I'm actually in Hadley in front of the bank, but.
Okay, well, thank you, Grady. So, this is definitely good information, Becky. I definitely thank you for those points and different ways that we can split up these subcommittees. Now, is this something that we would like to vote on today and appoint people to run these subcommittees, even though there is no data here, of course, but at least people's already in charge of those committees, and if you could start looking for things in the community or start being involved in ways, or we could table this discussion?
I think it makes more sense for that to have the kind of ideas of what subcommittees would do first before people start volunteering, because some people might feel more drawn to one aspect or another.
Okay.
So I think it'd make more sense just to know what the subcommittees would be discussing before people sign up for them.
Okay, I know when Becky was saying, like I said, as far as the subcommittees piece, what she was saying is like one would focus on outreach, the education piece, so that would be one subcommittee, right? And then another subcommittee would focus on events and community collaborations, that would be another subcommittee. And then you have another third committee that would deal with grievances and feedback to the city. So those would be like the first ones that we would probably try to get going to start. And I'm at least starting something, because I just feel like for so long we've been stagnant and we've had a lot of talk and no action behind it. And because we really, there's a lot of things out there and we can meet and we can talk and we can do this, but nothing gets done. And I just feel like right now we need to be more assertive as a commission and get more involved in our community. And I just feel, we could table it, we could put it off, but it's just gonna prolong the process, instead of just saying, okay, well, the basis of subcommittees is this subcommittee, just say this one, we're gonna focus on outreach and education. That's what that subcommittee comes about. That's not how that subcommittee runs is not a committee thing. Y'all, the subcommittee is run by whoever is in that subcommittee. So we don't have to vote or make any rules on how that subcommittee is run. Everything that's done or whatever decisions, they report back to the commission. And that's when we get involved. But as far as anything, how they want to run their subcommittee, where they want to meet, how they want to meet, anything having to do with that deals with the person who's running that particular subcommittee.
May I just ask a clarifying question? Are these subcommittees things that people in the community can participate on as well?
Well, how we had it before, it was basically just commissioners, but there was guests who was involved, because like a lot of them was like outside of the regular city hall or anything, so like they could have like a public meeting somewhere. They probably invited family and friends to come in, just to give more information and more feedback about a particular issue. And then, yes, they would bring all that all the data they collected from everybody would be brought back to the commission. But like I said, of course, because the people who's outside of the subcommittee or outside of the commission obviously can't vote, can't make a decision because you're not part of the body. But we're not going to turn any information away because we still serve the community.
So clarifying question, are there a lot of people missing tonight because I thought I read there were more people.
No, well, there's one more, Mackenzie,
Okay,
but she
that's
just
it.
started school, yes.
Because Philippe has resigned, so will they be replacing another person? Because they
Well, there can
resigned?
be up to 9.
Right, because I mean, it's a small group.
That's part of what I think is part of the outreach
Correct.
committee. So it
Right.
looks like you'd be a wonderful addition to
Yeah.
the outreach committee.
Right, I'm an outreach
We've
kind
had
of
conversations
person.
about how to get more
Exactly.
people.
Yeah, 'cause I feel like if we're just, I'm kind of like a numbers person, not great or anything, but just by doing a little observance, if we wanted 3 subcommittees and do you get to serve on a committee? Are you allowed to? Or you're
I'm
probably pretty
not
busy,
sure.
right? I'm thinking no, so,
I mean, I would like to keep tabs on this.
right, but you know what I mean?
I'd
So-
probably be in attendance for the meetings.
We would say you're, not counting, you're not counting, so that makes 5 of us. So how many, we'd all have to be on everybody's committee, right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Yeah,
So, and that's why it's great.
I'm all in it, but,
Exactly, and that's why I think it's great, just like I said, it's better to start now than not at all.
No, I agree.
And even though we have 3 ideas, doesn't have to mean we have to launch all 3 subcommittees. That's
Oh,
just
okay,
not
yeah.
gonna happen.
But like,
Right, but like, take for instance, just like you were saying and Becky was saying, like, if we wanna focus like on the outreach piece and education piece.
I think so.
And basically just focus on outreach right now versus education and use the outreach piece as far as recruitment, and going out in the community and meeting people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, we are a small commission.
Right,
And we're basically, this commission and the last commission is basically a new commission because everybody from the 2 commissions prior left except me and then.
right.
So this is all starting over again, so we
Right,
definitely
I
had
thought
more
so.
numbers at one time, so.
Yeah.
If that's something that this subcommittee would like to take on as far as recruitment, This is what.
We could recruit 3 other people or
Yes.
4 other people.
I believe there might be an appointment for the HRC in progress for the October city council
Okay.
meeting, so just for,
What about Lance? I'm sorry, I thought Lance.
that might be who it is.
Okay,
So,
that was a guest from last time, I think.
yeah. So basically for appointments, they all have to go in front of the
Well,
city
right.
council to be approved, and then I think it's after maybe a week and a half or so, they're available to be sworn in, so.
Right, yeah, because we just had that happen. So,
Yeah.
Right,
Mhm.
right, because if we
Yeah.
had 3 more people, that would be really great.
Yeah,
So,
I'm sorry. I was gonna say, I think like something I'm thinking about just in terms of like kind of co-signing some community collaborations. I know that there's been some, some movies, some like educational movies, and maybe like a commissioner or 2 have been present there for discussions at the end. But maybe that's something that, a subcommittee could recommend, like doing 6 in the next year or 4 in the next year, and they would be approved, and then we would just know that we would be doing 4 more collaborative films and discussions, for an example.
Yeah.
exactly, because that's how we did with Emmett Till. When,
Oh, right,
when the Emmett movie was playing, we
Right.
had a.
I remember
there was
that.
an-
Yeah, that was
exactly,
great.
Yeah.
at the end of the movie, there was a question and answer, a little dialogue at the end of the movie. But that was actually one of the subcommittees that took that on, and it was a process because, your dad Isaac, came to the commission and wanted us to be involved. But what happened to put that on the whole commission,
Mhm.
we just couldn't do that. So therefore, what happens, there was a group of people who wanted to lead that subcommittee and take on that project. And that's how we was able to do that. So that's some of the great things that subcommittees do. Like that's the reason why it's on here, because it is something that I would like to propose to bring back, because I think as far as footwork and doing a lot more things in the community, we definitely need a subcommittee. And it doesn't have to be like 10,000, but it's just, here's some ideas on the table of, what we can start working on.
Yeah, so talking about like action and bringing things to the community, I would like to like propose a subcommittee. I would happy to run it or just like, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that the annual Human Rights Day is coming up. So it would be nice to like maybe like create an event for it. We could find a place to host it and maybe have keynote speakers or like workshops or stuff like that. And I feel like that would be a cool thing to get us started with, if that sounds good.
I have to say that I definitely agree with that.
yeah.
That's
I might think that that's a great idea, having something when is it's October, right?
October, yeah, I think it's October.
Human Rights Day is December 10th,
Oh,
so it gives us some time to prepare,
That's
yeah.
better.
Mhm.
And
okay.
I think it goes to the next part of the agenda, right?
Mhm.
It's the same.
Yeah, it goes right within B.
Oh.
So, okay, so let's have a vote on subcommittees.
Mhm.
And then we'll go into it more.
Okay.
So basically what we're voting on is the return of subcommittees back to the Greenfield Human Rights Commission, so. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll do a roll call vote actually, since Grady's on Zoom, just for the open meeting law. So, roll call, Empress,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Kathleen,
Yes,
Quinn,
yes.
Grady.
Yes.
All right, motion passes.
Awesome. So now we also have Quinn, who has volunteered to run the Events and Community Collaboration Subcommittee. So I will put that down on the table for a vote. I would like to nominate Quinn for that position for the subcommittee. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, and I guess we can do the vote now.
Empress,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Kathleen,
yes,
Quinn,
Yes,
Grady.
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, so Quinn is going to deal with the events and community collaborations. And like I said, Quinn, I have your email, so I can reach out to you and like whatever you need for that, I'll be more than happy, me and Becky could definitely help you with that.
Okay.
You know, as far, you know, and.
And I'm happy to help, and I bake.
Mhm. I mean, like I said, you know,
There's
even,
that.
and you
Yeah.
can run this subcommittee,
Mhm.
how you want to run this subcommittee.
Okay.
You know, if you wanna pull in more of, you know, of people that you know,
Yeah,
whoever you want could be involved in gathering this information and helping gather this information. But as far as the formal piece, bringing it to commission, of course, only you could
yeah,
bring it to us, but yes, but you have full rights on how you wanna run this commission,
Okay.
and congratulations.
thanks.
So, so that's one subcommittee. So basically, we have an idea what we're gonna do, and
And I
I
just ask a clarifying question,
Mhm.
sorry to backpedal. So when Quinn is heading the events and collaborations committee, who are the other people and how is that determined? Like, do you send an email to everybody and then people wanna do it right back, or like how is that, what's the next step of that?
Yeah, so what would happen is that Quinn would be the chair of that subcommittee.
Okay.
So basically, you know, if you want to send out an invitation, like, you know, I'm chair of this subcommittee, you know, and this is some of the things that we're gonna be working on and stuff like that. Yes, I mean, you could send it out, you could send it out to us, you could send it out, you know. The only thing, of course, you know, we can't literally, you know, comment on it because of open laws, you know, right?
Yeah.
Right, you know, but definitely, you know, if you wanna send out a flyer, whatever you put together, yes, you
Yeah.
can definitely keep us informed, you know, and just like, you know, if there's something like, if I wanna be involved, you know, I can reach out to you, you know, Quinn, outside of the regular commission, I would like to be part of your subcommittee.
Okay.
You know, you could do recruitment like that, so
Okay.
basically, it's not formal, your subcommittee is not as formal as this.
But we also can't all be on the subcommittee, or
Yeah.
it makes it a second meeting.
Well, right.
Well, I mean, but it's not an official, like, the commission.
No.
Yeah, it's.
But you can participate,
Yeah,
like, just to
it-
clarify and give maybe a example, say that you email back and Quinn says, I need help with a venue, and you say, I can provide this, and then Quinn emails me and I say, oh, I can provide refreshments. Do you know what I mean? And that, do you know what I mean? So is that what that means?
Yeah, so,
Kind of create the picture?
exactly, so what would happen is like, Quinn would basically set up like a meeting time, you know, people who's interested can come and meet with him, or however he wants to set up his subcommittee. Quote unquote, it won't be here,
Yeah.
you know, cause it's not an official,
Mhm.
you know, you're basically just getting together with a group of people planning this community event or getting more people involved in it. So basically, it could be anything outside of City Hall in the community,
Mhm.
wherever you wanna do it, however you wanna do it, that's up to you. You know, you have full reign over that.
Okay.
But basically, I lost my train of thought, Becky. I was trying to answer your question.
Yeah, you were answering it.
I know, but then, you know,
You were doing it.
yeah, then it just gone. So, yeah, so basically, as long as it's outside of here, you can run it anyway. If you want to, you know, you have everybody's contact information. You know, so like, you know, if you wanna say something like, oh, Grady, I'm gonna use you for an example, okay? I'm like, Grady, you know, I'm gonna have my first subcommittee meeting, say at, Hangers or something, and say 5 o'clock on Saturday or something, you know, so let's all meet at Hangers for lunch and just, you know, get together, just throw some decision, you know, have a discussion about this. You know, so it doesn't have to be nothing formal. It doesn't have, it's not to be recorded. It doesn't have to be taped or anything, no notes, nothing like that, you know? I mean, but if you want to have somebody take notes to bring all the information back to the
Yeah,
commission,
might be a good idea.
yeah, it might be a good idea to
Yeah.
have somebody there just to jot something out, but other than that, like I said, you have full reign how you wanna run it.
Yeah.
Also,
It-
sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Just so I know, like when I'm planning these events, is there funding for it, or should I just like plan it based off of like?
We
I
do,
don't
No funding.
we do have a budget. I have to give a Matt and, to see what it is. I know it was increased from the last commission a little bit, but as far as the exact number, I don't know. but I can find out that information.
Okay,
I can ask the mayor tomorrow and get
okay.
an answer
great,
for
thank
everyone.
you.
I was thinking a good idea for the subcommittees could be, since I can kind of email everyone, is maybe the chair will say, this is the day and time I was thinking of having a meeting, and I can just email everyone, and then,
Okay,
individuals can email me back, just so we're not
Okay,
violating the open meeting law with
we don't want to
the.
violate that.
yeah.
Okay, that sounds good,
Well,
so,
we can't have more than 4 people attend the meetings.
Yeah, exactly. So that'd be the 3 people per subcommittee.
sounds good. Anything else, Quinn? You want to add anything else?
I think I'm all set.
Okay, well, thank you.
Mhm.
Well, I will be very interested to see how this goes.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is actually gonna go into B, for the annual HRC Community Awards recognition. So the reason why this is on here, I don't know how many people have ever noticed the plaque in the hallway out here that has 96 slots. From 2013, that plaque has been up there. There's only been 2 people in the community awarded one, 2013 and 2016. That's not okay. This is something where somebody is supposed to be awarded or recognized by the HRC with their name here annually, and it has not been done since 2016. So, Quinn, like I said, this actually backs up to what you said. So if you wanted to even like
Yeah.
integrate that idea,
Yeah, totally.
and we could probably get in contact with like Mary Burnett, the recorder, and and
Mhm.
put a little bit more energy behind it, and just brainstorm how we could do that. But I think it's great if we stay on top of that, because there's a lot of people in our community who's doing a lot of work.
Mhm.
Speaking of that, is there a way that we can work together on coming up with the nomination guidelines?
Yes.
So I don't know how that is in terms of like, we can't communicate about it through email, but it seems like maybe if people spent some time thinking or writing about it, and then maybe we could, in our next meeting, arrive with some points that we
Yes,
would want
guidelines.
to have and then following that, we could put together a nomination form that we could make accessible on the town website or other places, so that people could fill that out based on the guidelines.
Okay, and to back up Becky on that, Matt, has there been any information that you've seen on your side as far as how they used to publicize that, or? Because I'm sure there was like, the newspaper was involved, I know that much, but as
Yeah.
far as what else?
I would say primarily, the news piece was involved. I know the website is new, so it's kind of new territory there. But yeah, I think we could place, like Becky said, a form or something like that on the HRC page would be good to do. Trying to think of kind of other publicity measures, because this is definitely something you would want to get out as wide as possible, the community, and get a lot of different responses. So that's something we can brainstorm.
Okay,
But I know newspaper in the past has probably definitely been the big one. I remember reading articles about the film screenings that were done in the past.
Well, I mean, just based on like the kind of timeline that I'm thinking, right now it's September.
Yeah.
And then we're not gonna meet again till October. So coming up with guidelines and the nomination form, then it's pushing it into like November, and then potentially having it be for the Human Rights Day.
Mhm.
A good plan could be establishing that form by the end of the October meeting, so then you can post it, and then it's at least a month and a half of time ahead of time to get it out there.
Right, and I would imagine that in 2016, it wasn't on a website, I mean, I could be wrong, but if it wasn't as widely used as it is now. I mean, just
Yeah.
that difference in 8 years has made a world of difference on how things evolve, so.
Yeah,
and that's a good point, and in respect to the timing piece, as far as, because next month is October, so you're not really working a lot of time here.
Mhm.
But how you guys feel about us before the next meeting in our own individual worlds, just start drafting some ideas, some, about what kind of nominations we're looking for, what's the qualification and stuff like that. So at least when we come to the next meeting, we'll have something to discuss and we could.
I think at the next meeting, I would suggest us all doing with these notes that Empress is mentioning, a brainstorm, and that maybe also then if there are people that want to come and be present or be guests on Zoom, they also would be able to know that we're going to be all having an open conversation about what the qualifications would be, and we can, do a big brainstorm and put together, but through like consensus, what it will look like. So we could actually spend, 20 to 30 minutes drafting it in the actual meeting time.
Okay.
And do we have any kind of older template or anything from 2015 or 16 or anything that was used? I mean, it would just be,
I could
nice
dig
to
through
kind of
the
see
city
what it
files.
was.
I'll dig through the city files and see if there's anything, because
That'd be
everything's archived there.
Right. Like I would imagine there's something somewhere.
It's a funny thought.
Who was the last person? I didn't notice who it was.
Before Philippe was Daniel. Oh, you mean
Yeah, on the plaques.
I didn't take the names, I was just
Alright,
checking
I'll
the
look.
years,
I'll
yes.
look,
Because the
um,
first year
on
was
my way out.
2013,
To
then
see
it-
who they are,
and
that
then
might
it
help me.
skipped 3 years to 2016, and then.
And now
It's just
nothing, it went
nothing.
dark.
Yeah, that's
Nothing.
strange.
And
That's
it's
weird.
strange, but it says like,
Yeah.
nobody did nothing in our
Well, yeah,
community
that's sad.
in like 7 years.
Do you know if the city has like those big, like kind of sheets of paper that we could use next time to kind of.
Well, like
Draft.
that.
Yeah, like that, like
Stuff
that.
like that we
Yeah.
can have up here, so it'll be a very
Okay.
interactive
Mhm.
meeting, and we'll
Yeah,
put it all together.
we'll have to be very mindful of how it's set up, because we want to make sure everyone on the video screen will also be able to see it, so maybe we can have that like set at the head of the table in a way where the camera's catching it and
Well, I
everything.
can bring in my tripod and we can set up secondary cameras too that could.
The only thing is, I don't know if for the recording on Zoom, I don't know if the tripod would catch that, because I'm just not sure on the logistics of that. I would have to ask CCTV, to be honest. Because usually this is just the one camera that records everything. But I do think there's a pretty easy way logistically if we just set it up. We could even like just frame it up at the top of the table, just so everyone in the public can see it while everyone's working on it, and throw out ideas as well.
Is there any way that you could put the information on the website that like the next HRC meeting is gonna be more of a community open discussion as far as,
Yeah, I could talk to the
community
camera about that.
nominations
Yeah.
for the next HRC? For the annual HRC awards in December.
Yeah,
And we're basically putting together, have an open discussion about how we could do like a draft or guidelines, so just to get, like you said, more of the community, more people involved. And it doesn't have to be, so the next meeting doesn't have to be so formal, because we want everybody to be able to voice their opinion.
yeah,
So,
it's a good approach.
okay.
And we can definitely make sure that we read everything out loud that's
Mhm.
written down, so that it's all
Yes.
transparent, of course.
Perfect.
Okay, so the next thing that I had on the 2023 goals of structured planning, September 23rd, Green River cleanup. I think this would be a great opportunity, no pressure, as far as coming out as a commission and helping to clean up Green River. I believe this is the 20th year now? This is 20 years, right, Matt?
I believe so,
Yeah, this is
yeah.
the
I
20th
think
year.
so, I think
Yeah.
I saw that somewhere.
Mhm.
Is it a Saturday or a Sunday, the 23rd?
It's the Saturday.
Yeah.
Where?
It's Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was planning on going with my school, but yeah.
Oh, okay, so I just wanted to put that out there, like I said, it's nothing that, I'm saying, but those are some of the things that I have in mind that we as a commission could be more involved in, and just going out there as a body and helping with this project, I think this would be something exciting. I'm gonna be out there, so you'll see me out there. So if anybody else wants to come out there and help, you're more than welcome. So I just want to bring this to the commission's track of mine.
I'm not sure I can attend on that day, but I am wondering, I know we've discussed this before. I'm wondering about having shirts made that say something like, ask me about the Human Rights Commission
Mhm.
as part of the outreach, when you're at something that's that large, that you're also an accessible figure and that you're also able to do the outreach if somebody is interested or wants to know more about it. So I don't know what that would be like in terms of making, can we just do any lettering? If we wanted to make shirts that people wore, or does it have to be?
That, I'd have to look into that
Okay.
probably.
Because I know like the seal, they're very funny about the seal.
Yeah,
That-
protector of the seal.
Protectors of the seal, so, that's why a lot of things doesn't have the actual city seal on it, because,
Right, you can't, right.
I mean, I don't know if it would need to say that,
Or
but
just
it
like
could just say
Greenfield.
like, ask me about the Greenfield Human Rights Commission, just on the
Yeah.
back of the shirt, and then when you're out in the community, you just are a contact person.
Yeah,
That's a
Good idea.
cool idea.
that definitely will come into play with the budget and I'll get back to you
Yes.
on the figures for
I
that.
mean,
Okay.
maybe some of us might even be willing to like kick in to get T-shirts and that if
Right, I
we
mean-
could get them like applied on there somehow, we
Right.
could like buy our own shirt or something.
And I think that would be great, because, that's another thing, I think like if we did have these shirts, people would know who we are. I mean, if you was to ask somebody walking out, well, who's on the Human Rights Commission in Greenfield? I don't know. That's not okay, that's not okay. So, I think that's, I think that's oh, I'm sorry, Grady.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have another appointment down here at 7,
Okay.
so I have to pop off.
Okay.
I'll see everybody next month. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you, Grady. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
So that's.
Yeah, so, okay, so, I guess we'll wait for Matt to get back in contact with us as far as the budget goes and everything
Yeah,
like that.
whenever I get an answer from, on that, I will email the group email,
Okay.
McCory.
Okay, and next up is, Greenfield Police Department, they have a new liaison. This has been the great question, Kathleen. So this has been this is something that was always part of the Human Rights Commission, is that the liaison used to come to the meetings and speak with the Human Rights Commission. Somewhere, somehow, that ball was dropped. And so I'm just trying to pick that ball back up again because, because that was another means of communication, with the liaison. And because there's a lot of new people out here, there's a new Greenfield Police Department liaison, there's a new GBA director, Greenfield Business Association, and there's a new MJ Kim, right?
The
Yes.
new, economic development director, Amy Kaling.
Amy.
Because MJ retired,
Yes,
right?
MJ retired. So.
Well deserved for MJ.
Yes, I'm so happy.
She's-
for her.
yeah, me
Yes,
too.
Exactly. So these are so many people who I would like to bring to the meeting, tell us more about what they do for the city, And as a matter of fact, I actually had a meeting, that's why it's shameful, I actually forgot her name, with the new economic developer just last week at my Severi. That's why I was like, I hope she doesn't see this. So we just had a meeting and she said that she would love to come to some of the meetings because because she wants to partner with the HRC. And basically make us have more of a footprint in the community. And then that's definitely some of the connections we want to have. So, and even like Hannah, Greenfield Business Association, awesome. She's also another one who wants to be involved with the HRC too. So these are 3 strongholds that we have, with people who is behind the HRC and are behind of pushing the HRC in the right direction. But basically, that's what I have for the 2023 goals and structured planning. I did speak about everything with this, so I would just like to know, do we have a vote for everything that we spoke about in the structured planning that we go forward with what we spoke about? Okay, can we?
I don't think we have enough to vote anymore.
Oh, that's right, great.
Yeah,
Okay, so we'll table some of this, but like I said, some of the things, we already voted for you, Grady. I'm sorry. Quinn. We already voted for you, Quinn, so you can start doing what you're gonna do. I'm glad that we was able to get that voted in. We already spoke about the rewards and the September 23rd Green River cleanup. There's no point of voting for that.
yeah.
It's just announcement,
Right, we can come
okay?
along, yeah.
As far as the Greenfield Police Department liaison coming up, out of respect to the commission, I'm not gonna do that for the next meeting until we have a quorum and vote on that. Okay, so.
We don't know who it is. I'm confused.
I know she's a woman, that's all I know.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that narrows it down quite only a couple of people, so that's, yeah.
What I could do instead of, I could definitely reach out to the chief tomorrow and get her name again and just, if she just wants to consider just have her on the agenda
Right.
and just have her as just a guest.
Yeah.
And so that way we don't have to do a vote, really. Just invite her just to come in, just to
Sure.
introduce who she is.
Yeah.
Because if we had like, okay, we're gonna have you on the agenda, we would have to vote for that. We don't have the votes to do it right now, so I could definitely do that.
I just have a question about, so if we're inviting people as guests, I think it would be important to also include people that do ongoing work for human rights, which are a lot of the people representing nonprofit organizations in the area. So I understand that, some people are interested in human rights or their work might be more closely related. But I think if we're gonna have guests, that maybe we could just plan to think of maybe a different guest for each time, maybe.
Exactly, and that's what this is for, but this is just a start.
Yeah.
This is just a start from, we're rebuilding it, restructuring it, so, yeah, so we could have, and like I said, so who we're gonna have next month, she's not gonna be on the agenda. But of course, anybody who's gonna be on the agenda, just take for instance, if you wanna invite somebody from, if you want them to come as a guest, they could be a guest, but if you want them actually on the agenda, we would have to do a formal vote to have them on the agenda. But, like I said, they just wanna come and just introduce what they do, that's right. Just to I'm just trying to pass some formalities that, that we could probably find loopholes in, but anything that goes on the agenda has to be voted.
Mhm.
And sometimes some people may not be available, say, for the 2 months down the line, because we have people there, but they have something coming up that they want the commission to know about. Invite them as a guest. They're not on the agenda, they don't have to be voted in, they're gonna just have a discussion.
Like people.
Exactly, no problem with that. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Makes a
Okay,
lot of sense.
so, since we don't have a quorum now, and there's really nothing.
What about Pamela, our guest? Do you have anything that you came here to talk about?
I can just say, you can pack up because I'm freezing, I left my sweater in my car. And I'm gonna go anyway, but, I have a friend of mine in Peabody and housing, and he put me into the Massachusetts Human Rights Commission. They have some pretty powerful speakers from time to time, and I just find them really interesting. And, I have to go back and try to figure out, I think they meet twice. The last time that they met, someone very famous, and I took notes, but I don't have it up in my head. It was all about Indigenous peoples. And so it's very powerful. And I remember making a statement about Mohawk Trail Regional, Mohawk Trail School, where I used to teach, and just, and how everybody's renaming everything, you can't have an Indigenous person on a football team anymore, so anyway, it was really very interesting. The time before that, there was a whole racial issue that everybody was very upset about, and it's statewide, so you just get this, lots of people coming, and it was very interesting. So on Zoom, it was on Zoom, and I think they meet twice, it's usually a Friday morning, which worked out for my schedule, to be able to go on Zoom. So I just thought it was really interesting. At one point, I think I gave the email to Philippe, but I think he was always doing work at that time of the day on a Friday morning. So yeah, it's been very interesting. And I think there's a ton of people that do a lot of good community work here. So in terms of like our subcommittee and who's working hard on the community and how long they've worked, well, we have beaucoup people to go through. But educating somebody to know that they should look on a website, go fill out a form is another whole issue. How you get that out there, maybe Mary Burke, maybe in the paper,
She definitely puts the word out there.
Well, then you have the radio and, We have GCTV
Yeah, GCTV.
and public broadcasting, all of it.
One thing I thought of, and it's dependent on the budget, obviously, but for the HRC awards, it'd be good to maybe make a flyer and you can have that QR code on there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Easy for people to access and fill it out,
Mhm.
just makes it easier.
And quick question, what about the, I don't even know what it's called. I should know what it's called. I feel like I knew what it called and it went out of my head. You know, the screen on Town Common.
Oh, the hoop board?
Yeah, is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
yeah, that's definitely something we can put there, and also
I mean,
the
that could be kind
kiosks
of
there too.
interesting, right? And
Yeah.
kind of get everybody in that groove of the whole digital world we live
Yeah.
in now.
Visit Greenfield, I think could be a great
Yeah.
canvas to highlight
Right,
the
no,
awards one,
I
'cause that's
think so.
community, things like that,
Yeah.
and that would be
Yeah.
on all the websites for that, all the socials, the
mhm.
hoop board.
Kind of
everything.
links everything together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Okay. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you again.